Hi, hello, my name is Lo. Welcome to my channel if you are new here, or welcome back if you are not. Welcome back to my long distance digital two-man book club. Mac and I are starting a new book, and I'm very glad to take you guys along the way. And I think I'm going to be structuring this series a bit differently this time around. For the first two of my videos for Holly Jackson's book, I was combining multiple weeks into one video. The book we're currently reading is a bit more dense, and I think it would make more sense if I was going week by week with my videos. So this video only includes week 1, which we read chapters 1 and 2, but regardless, I hope you guys enjoy it anyway. And if you can hear something in the background, it is a heater. Don't mind that. It's keeping me warm. But with all of that said, let's jump into the video. Book 2!
Everybody get excited because we're reading a new book. We're reading a new book.
I don't know what kind of like auto-tune weird vibe I was going for.
What color are your fucking eyes?
I'm going to make this work. Welcome to week 1 of book 2. I am so excited. Like, when Macayla and I started this book club thing, obviously I was like, oh, we're two really good friends who love to read. We're just reading the same book. But we've actually really tried to make it into like a club. We meet at least once a week, we theorize, we take notes, like, we're doing the whole thing. Today is October 28th. And it is about 8 p.m. and I'm going to start reading. And I'm so sad to report that since I'm reading on my Kindle this time around, Felix will unfortunately be sitting this book out. Unless I can't help it and I slip him in anyway, we'll have to say goodbye to According to Felix. As you guys saw in the finale of when we finished reading Not Quite Dead Yet, we revealed that our next book was going to be The Wasp Factory by Ian Banks. Now, I'm going to read you guys the little synopsis. Meet Frank Coldham, just 16 and unconventional to say the least. 2 years after I killed Blythe, I murdered my young brother Paul, for quite different and more fundamental reasons than I disposed of Blythe. And then a year after that, I did for my young cousin Esmeralda, more or less on a whim. That's my score to date, 3. I haven't killed anyone for years, and I don't intend to ever again. It was just a stage I was going through. Yeah, we're gonna be following, what was this guy's name? I already fucking forgot. Frank. His name is Frank. My bad. Sorry. So we're gonna be following Frank, who is technically a serial killer because his kill count is 3, but he killed 3 kids while he was a kid himself, and now he's 16, and he is saying it was just a big ol' phase. You know, the same way people say, you're emo now, it's a phase. I killed some people. It was just a phase, though. Don't worry. Don't worry, girl. It was just a phase. So Macayla and I decided to read to chapter 2, which is roughly 40 pages, and she did her reading, I think, last night, I believe, and she said a few things. She said it's a little bit dense, like way more dense than our Holly Jackson book, but she said she's never been so disgusted by a book, and I asked her if it was the content or the character, and she kind of said both, but she said the first chapter is just weird. It's like a weird routine kind of thing, but then the second chapter is a bit graphic, so in my head, I believe that we might be getting a flashback sequence to the earlier killings. But I am going to finish this episode of Bones. Fun fact, I've started watching Bones and I really like it. And then I'm going to do some reading. So I will check back with you guys very soon. Okay guys, I don't actually know how long I've been reading. If I had to guess, maybe 45 minutes. I like put on some music and I was just like reading in my bed. The Wasp Factory is a lot denser and honestly a lot harder for me to read because I got to page 30 So I was reading like a page maybe every minute and a half. Oh, since I'm on the Kindle, like the pages are quite small. It was just like a lot happening, but also not. There's a lot of information coming at me, but it doesn't seem like it's that important. And all of it, it's like cryptid almost. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. I don't really understand what's happening. But I have, I think, like 12 more pages to go. And the Kindle says 22 minutes left of reading. And I was just going to try to finish it tonight, but I don't think I can because it's hurting my brain. But I will see you guys tomorrow when I end up finishing. Hey guys, I finally finished the reading. It's about 6:45 the next day, so October 29th. And girl, this was tough. I'm not even gonna lie. I think I understood maybe 30% of what I just read. And Macayla and I were texting back and forth, and she agrees that a lot of it seems like filler. Like not a lot of the information we got in the first 40 pages seemed to be important. And that sucked. I struggled to read it. I will explain it more to you guys when like Macayla and I call.
You can't tell because they're so skinny. But like, I did a lot of them.
Because I'm on my Kindle, and my Kindle, I don't know if yours does it, but mine lags when I try to like highlight, and then it won't highlight the right section, so I was getting annoyed. But I like have like a good amount, kind of, sort of.
Oh my god.
A lot of it was mostly me highlighting, but I did I put some actual notes as well. I think I have like 2 or 3. Where do we even start, bro?
Where do we start? How we did the other one, chapter 1.
Chapter 1. Yay.
The sacrifice poles.
I gotta go back. I highlighted the first line because I was like, sacrifice poles? My brother escaped? What the fuck is going on?
I have a sacrifice pole, and I have a big old question mark above it.
I don't even know what's actually going on with the sacrifice poles.
I do. I think we may be overcomplicating this. Maybe I am. I don't know. I don't want to say we need to go through like each chapter like a fine-tooth comb. I think we need to treat this like, you know how you would analyze pieces like literature in like middle school? It's like that degree of like understanding.
That's what I feel
and
like.
And if you didn't, you couldn't comprehend it.
Yes. Because that's what I feel like we need to do, but it sucks because there's no teacher to guide us in the right direction.
So, I Googled earlier today.
Oh, did you?
I searched the Wasp Factory Spark Notes. There's none.
What?
It's something, they do have something on like Lit. It's like another Spark Notes-y thing. You gotta fucking pay for it. I got the first chapter rundown though.
Okay.
And what I was thinking of the first chapter is pretty spot on to what they wrote about.
The first chapter I struggled with more than the second chapter.
I think the first chapter is just a foundational chapter, like all old books are.
So, I wish we had a map. I wish we had a map, because it keeps saying the island, and I think that's because, like, well, I don't know if they live on an island, or if that's just because they live in Scotland, or, like, whatever. But then there's so many different points that he keeps going to, but it's made apparent that he is naming those places based off of incidents that occur there.
There is islands you can live on in Scotland. But I don't think you need to think of this as, like, an actual, like...
chunk of land surrounded by ocean?
Yes. I think what this is referring to is, in the way that Frank thinks about things, is... You should also think that he has been homeschooled by his father, and his father is delusional in his own right.
I, like, low-key forgot about that. Yeah, he's never been... Oh, because he's undocumented. No one knows this
He's
kid
undocumented.
exists.
He's not registered. He's not in existence. He's an alien.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's literally an alien. But I think that we need to view this from Frank's point of view as a 17-year-old who is not very educated in his own right and has been educated by his father. I think the island is a piece of land that's connected to another piece of land by a bridge.
Oh.
He dumped a lot of.
Yeah, because we know that the Wasp Factory, hello, title drop, is like the attic. That's where he sleeps.
Yes. I think that Wasp Factory has more meaning than just location in my thing.
Oh
but
yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
I
because
could
he
be wrong.
says he'll say something, and it feels like to me, it's not just like his sanctuary. It's not just his bedroom. It's like he talks about the Wasp Factory, or quote like the factory, like it's alive and it's talking to him.
I think he's talked about the factory in its own right, and the Wasp Factory is its own separate thing. They're two separate things.
So
I think the factory is more of like...
the house?
No.
No.
Mm-mm. I think the factory is more like a deity to him.
Oh.
Like a speaker.
Okay.
Like a god-like figure. Because the factory is telling him what to do and what not to do. The factory is giving him signals about how, like, what to look out for.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the factory is, like, necessarily... I think they're connected, but I don't know. I think the Wasp Factory is a location, and the factory is, like, not like a living thing, but it has more of a persona. We're on page 7 still.
Yeah.
Made no progress forward. Okay, so the sacrifice poles, we know what they are now, but in the moment I didn't know what they are, so I question marked it. The next thing I highlighted was poles held a rat head with 2 dragonflies, the other a seagull and 2 mice. I highlighted that and put significance because I know the poles are like his landmarkers, kind of, and like it's like kind of like creating a physical barrier of his head around like what is his land and what's not his land.
Yeah.
It's like keeping his like space protected. But I didn't know if the objects on the poles held any actual significance.
And I highlighted the line right after where it says, I was just sticking one of the mouse's heads back on, and I noted it, and I said, one of the main 3 early signs of psychopathy is animal cruelty.
What?
I watched too much Criminal Minds.
I didn't think you were going to say that.
Well, I only made that note because in the description of the book it says, oh, that's just a phase I outgrew. But he's still in that key prime of early psychopathy, like showing signs that he's not okay in the head and that he could turn out to be a very, very violent person because he is being cruel to animals. Another indicator is setting fires, which he does when he calls them wars. And then the third one I'm pretty sure is bedwetting, but we haven't gotten to that.
Diggs on his bike. His pedaling bike. Not like vroom bike.
His
bike. His pedaling bike.
I imagine him like... Okay, so you know Scream, obviously. You know Scream. You know how Scream is like the main thing for Scary Movie 1?
Mm-hmm.
I picture him like... I think his name is Dewey.
It's Dewey.
That's how I picture Diggs.
Too. The next thing I highlighted was on page 8. And I highlighted the factory.
Yep, me too.
Because I didn't know what it quite was yet. Delusional. Okay.
Well,
I think...
Obviously, Frank is very delusional.
What I think the hierarchy of the system is on his little island of, like, his own is I think it's the factory.
Yes.
I think it's Frank. And then it's everything else.
Yeah.
I think Frank is the physical god on this island, but the factory's telling him what to do.
On page 8,
yes.
I also highlighted, if I was lucky, my father might tell me something, and if I was luckier still, it might even be the truth. Which I was like, oh, maybe that's important, and we later find out somewhere in chapter 1 that since he is homeschooled, and he would ask some questions, his dad would blatantly lie to him. And he's like, my dad would lie to me. Yes, I also highlighted, it's Eric, new character alert, and then I highlighted he had escaped, and I put a note on it that says, so he's either in a mental hospital or cycles run in the family. Because it didn't classify where he had escaped from, so I was like, jail, mental hospital, jail. I was leaning towards mental hospital, though.
I was hoping jail. This book is so complex. Oh my god. I miss Holly Jackson already.
I know.
Okay. I highlighted sacrifice poles, and then I highlighted those totems were my warning shot, and I circled sacrifice poles and totems.
Yeah.
I knew it was a thing, but I now understand what it means to him.
But I think your take on why there are so many and why they are where they are is like probably right.
You know what? I'll be honest with you about what I imagine this place to look like. You know Neverland?
Yeah.
That's how I imagine the shape of this island to be.
Okay.
Like Neverland.
Okay, so you know how, like, not when people read, not everybody can, like, visualize and stuff, but I know we're not that way. We're both very heavy visualizers. So you visualize Neverland, which I completely understand. I was visualizing, like, halfway through, like, it was, like, the forest from Bridge to Terabithia. Have you seen that? And then half the forest from Spiderwick Chronicles. Page
I don't want to
11
make
was
accusations or judgments, but this father's really fucking weird. Okay, what height is this table? 30 inches, and then he says wrong, 2'6",
which is 30
and then-
inches.
It's 30 inches. Okay, calm down, man. I can see my father's obsession for what it is.
Yeah, it's OCD is what it is.
It's like it's like the dad and the son are like have their own control freaks in their own way.
Yeah.
And the dad's is about the house, and Frank's is about everything but the house, and what he believed.
Probably not. It seems like Frank has had his own mind of belief since he was very, very young.
Yes, very, very tiny little boy. I highlighted. I hope you weren't out killing any God's creatures. I shrugged at him again. Oh, of course I was out killing things. And I said, girl, what?
Yeah.
So we see his dad has one belief set. And Ian has Ian. Frank has his other belief. Frank has his other belief set.
Yeah. Okay, have you noticed how, like, so many different things are capitalized? Like, the truth. Or the incident. There's so many different, like, things that are weirdly capitalized.
Okay, here's my thought. New crazy thought for you. What if we, like, treat this as, like, a big old, like, diary entry of Frank?
Probably.
And he's labeling his events or ideas about things what happened in capital letters. I don't want that.
On page 13, I also highlighted, I've learned to live with my disability, and I'm thinking, at first I was like, oh, his mental disability, because there's something not right with him, but somewhere in chapter 12, it mentions that, like, he had a little accident when he was younger, but it was nowhere near as bad as Blythe's accident when he lost his leg, and so I was like, was he hurt when he was younger, and somehow that made him psycho-crazy, or are we literally just talking about, like, mental disability?
Maybe he was born with it. And that's why his dad didn't register him. That's a crazy thought. But it's a
you
thought.
Look at your baby boy soon out, like, right out of your wife and go, this right here's a psychopath. So we're not going to put him on the books, okay? The study. Well, what the fuck is happening in there?
Why is it locked up? Why does it smell like chemicals all the time? What's he doing in there?
That's true. And Frank did say that, like, technically his father was a doctor of chemistry or maybe, like, biochemistry. So it's like, okay, chemicals, like, experiments, but the way that he's describing it makes me feel like Angus is some old-timey science doctor from, like Frankenstein vibe for whatever reason. But I was like, but why does he keep it locked? Is it because the chemicals are dangerous? Or is there something else in there?
I think there's something else in there. What I was imagining it to be, the Colonel Vines again. You know, the episode where Spence gets kidnapped by, what's his name?
Oh, Tobias Henkel?
Yeah. That's what I was imagining the dad to look like and the dad to act like. It was kind of like a Tobias-y situation.
Huh. But the awkward, for sure, like, definitely, like, kind of distances himself and locks himself in the study and goes out all night. Like, what are you doing, Papa? Why don't you have a job? And then
he's a very dominant personality. Like, it is him. Like, there's no one else. It's just him.
And when I think of him, he is like a 16-year-old boy, but I think he's dominant in his headspace, but, like, outwardly presenting,
he's not.
Sorry, a fly, like, scared the shit out of me. That I think outwardly he looks very submissive. And then also on page 16, I highlighted, I wondered, as I often wondered, how I would have coped, but it didn't happen to me. And so it makes me wonder if Eric, like, witnessed, like, maybe the murder of Paul, and it really messed him up. And so maybe that was Frank saying, like, well, if I had witnessed something like that, I don't know how I would have coped, but it didn't happen to me. But that's just my theory at the moment, unless something actually happened to Eric.
Well, I think Eric did something. I don't know what something happened to Eric, but I think Eric did something.
I think Eric did something too, but it makes me wonder if Eric did something only because he, like, saw something and it really messed him up, because people keep saying that he lit dogs on fire and stuff and, like, feeds bugs to babies, but he seemed really genuinely upset by it when Frank brought it up on the phone. I was like, what did you just say? Like, kind of thinking, like, maybe it's like, my brother wasn't supposed to say that, like, I thought he believed me or something.
To 19,
19.
I highlighted, you're accusing me of burning dogs again. You little shit, I'll kill you.
Yeah.
Accusing you of burning dogs, or did you burn a dog? Because I think you burned a dog. Because a normal person would not react like that to burning a dog. Sorry.
This is more look into our, I was going to say demonic. I meant to say dominant persona. I want to look dark and menacing, the way I ought to look, the way I should look, the way I might have looked if I hadn't had my little accident.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at me, you never guess I killed 3 people. It isn't fair.
Yeah, the isn't fair. I was like, oh, so you want to look menacing? You want to look like a murderer? But he doesn't, because he's A, a kid, and B, what the fuck?
Is he referring to his accident as killing the people? I think he might be.
Oh. Well, okay. But he says, I want to look dark and menacing the way I ought to look, the way I might have looked if I hadn't had my little accident. So if he's referring to killing people as his little accident, if he hadn't done that, he thinks he would have looked dark and menacing?
Yeah, because he had to hide it. He had to hide that he killed those people.
But he's...
And I think if you're acting dark and menacing after 3 people show up dead, is it really going to help you in your favor?
No, probably not.
I'm looking at the pictures again at the top of the chapter. You better figure that shit out. We got a snake. We got his little...
slingshot.
There you go, thank you. Bird, a missile, that's nice. A candle, a skull, a kite, a key, and then that looks like a
dog on fire.
A dog on fire.
Okay, well,
I was hoping maybe a rabbit.
The snake, now we know, is Blythe, Snake Park. The slingshot, yes. I think, is his catapult.
Yes.
Which we know is broken at the moment because of what he did to the rabbits. The little missile is probably him playing war.
Okay.
The kite... Okay. So, when Blythe lit fire to...
He killed their bunnies.
Oh.
He set their bunny hatches on fire.
But while he was doing that, it was because Eric and Frank were distracted flying kites.
Mm-hmm.
And then the dog on fire, Eric... The bird might be a seagull, which doesn't really look like one. But, you know, he was putting seagulls on his sacrifice poles.
Mm-hmm.
And then the candle, I'm not sure yet. The skull, you know, dead people. And then the key, I'm also not sure yet.
I think the key's to the dad's office.
Probably. It's probably to the study.
We're into chapter 2 territory now.
Yeah. Yeah, he's calling the wrapped up photograph paper coffin. And I'm like, what is happening? If he's burying a dead wasp that he might have, like, killed and plucked and stuff, that's a weird sign of remorse.
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't really match up with the rest of his actions.
I wonder if he treats wasps differently.
Well, that may be because...
The Wasp Factory.
The Wasp Factory...
Are they a dominant animal? But they don't sound like a dominant animal on the island. So what's the connection to the wasps?
Maybe he resonates with the wasp because the wasps aren't like other bees. Because other bees will sting someone and they'll immediately die once their stinger is pulled out. But the wasp, they can continuously hurt someone and not be harmed.
I don't know, metaphorical meaning. I thought just a fucking wasp.
I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of fucking bees in Oregon, so I know my bees.
Maybe I'm just crazy. I don't know.
Maybe this is all connected to some weird fucked up food chain thing. I don't know.
I think maybe. Oh, I didn't highlight it, but thinking about it, that means that Eric has killed somebody too.
His mother, yeah.
I had thought I was the only murderer in the family, but old Eric beat me to it, killing his mom before he'd even drawn breath. Unintentional, admittedly, but it isn't always the thought that counts.
Yeah, I highlighted that too because I was like, oh my god, the delusion. And then right after that, it says the factory said something about a fire.
Yeah.
It just drops that and doesn't explain it. know, man.
Where is he getting these signs from the factory?
Are we ever gonna see him talk to the factory? Because, like, what the fuck?
Is it coming in, like, through dreams?
I don't know.
That's my one thing I just want to know.
I'm confused.
Where's the factory at? Well, I know the factory's not, like, a thing, at least I don't think anymore. But where is he, like, getting this idea from?
He was interchanging rabbit and buck, and when I think buck, I think big deer.
See, that's why I was so fucking confused. I was like, a deer's chasing after you? As soon as his dad leaves, he goes upstairs to see if the study door's unlocked, and it's locked.
I was hoping it was gonna be unlocked, man, but I knew it was too early.
Me too.
He's a fucking criminal psycho kid and he doesn't know how to pick a lock.
No.
Well, maybe my mind is just in the 21st century, but, like, come on now.
Yeah,
Get a butter knife, get a bobby pin, get anything.
No, that's not how he does things. He's not that gentle. He's more forceful. Did we see what happened with the rabbits?
Yeah.
What the fuck? I didn't highlight anything, actually, on any of this, because I was too horrified to actually highlight a damn word on 30 and 31.
Yeah, me too.
Or 32 and 33.
I don't know when the next time I highlighted was.
Yeah, so this is just the part where he kills a bunch of rabbits. And it's very,
Graphic.
graphic. The one thing I took away, okay, yeah, it's on 36. I didn't highlight it, but, like, I remember it stuck out to me a lot, is on the way I passed the rabbit I thought had escaped, lying just before the sparkling clean water of the stream, blackened and contorted, locked into a weird twisted crouch, its dead dry eyes staring up at me as I passed by, accusatory. I kicked it into the water.
Mm-hmm. He didn't like the accusatory look.
No, so that's why when I said earlier that I think it's the factory and then him, and that's how he treats everything around him, is based off how it interacts with him, because I think his moral sense of judgment is off.
Yeah, because he, like, shot at it with, like, a pellet.
He shot it with a pellet, strangled it with the slingshot,
Yeah.
and then made bombs and put them in all the rabbit holes.
And then
put a bomb in the dead rabbit's mouth that he strangled.
in the mouth. Why did I think he put it up the other way?
Oh, sorry, he put it up the butt of it.
I was like, didn't he put it up the butt?
Yeah, okay, we find out that his other dead uncle, called Harmsworth Stove.
What a name.
What a name.
Harmsworth Stove.
He committed suicide.
Or tried.
Failed, went to hospital, then died.
And this was after his only child, Esmeralda, was killed.
Died.
And we know...
And she was one of
Yeah.
Frank's victims. But we don't know why. Haven't got to that point
We don't
yet.
know why, but we knew all of the victims by name going into the story because it was in the summary, the description.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to know. Maybe there's something romantic happening there, and Frank didn't like it.
That was his cousin.
What did I say earlier about this man's morals? Did I say they were right?
No.
I highlighted that was the first time I killed because of what my cousin Blythe had done to our rabbits.
Yeah, I highlighted the sentence above that where it says, from the smaller to the greater, the patterns always hold true, and the factory has taught me to watch out for them and respect them. Notice the in the factory isn't capitalized this time?
Is that intentional?
I don't know. Man, the
Other
amount of
patterns?
time that we've, like, spent talking about these 2 chapters versus when we used to discuss 5 chapters at a time is crazy. Because we used to discuss Holly Jackson in, like, 35-minute range, and we've been recording for an hour and 20 minutes. And we're on page 37, we're not even done yet.
We have 5 more pages.
Do you think it'll get easier?
I hope it does, but I don't know if it will.
I
Yes.
highlighted on 38 just the other reference of his little accident that says, and while Blythe knew that I had some sort of little accident when I was much younger, I certainly seemed to him to be a lot more able-bodied than he was, which makes me think that it was a physical accident. Like, was this fool dropped on his head?
Blythe comes back. Blythe kills their pets. Frank says, fuck you. I'm gonna go get a snake from my shed.
And put it in your prosthetic leg.
Yep, and hope it eats you. Grab the snake from the bunker.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what the snake is.
Striped
Depends on the stripe order, though.
snake in
I think
Scotland.
they had like signs of it in Colorado, but I never paid attention to that shit.
Okay, it says, this is the AI overview, so bear with me. The striped snake you're likely to see in Scotland is the adder, which has a distinctive dark zigzag pattern along its back.
Is it poisonous?
While other snakes are like grass snakes are present in the UK, the adder is the only native venomous snake in Scotland and is known to inhabit suitable sunny areas like moorlands, woodland edges, or heathland, or probably a outdoor bunker that's been abandoned.
Well, that's unfortunate for Blythe. Sorry, not sorry. You killed some bunnies, bud. Let's see. We didn't really have anything else. Oh, okay. I disposed of Blythe and then on 42. I disposed of Blythe and then a year after that I did for my young cousin Esmeralda, more or less on a whim. That's my score to date. 3. I haven't killed anyone for years, and I don't intend to ever again. It was just a stage I was going through. And that's it.
I don't believe that for a second.
Oh. I'm sorry. Live reading. I'm going to read the first sentence of chapter 3. My greatest enemies are women in the sea. These things I hate. Women because they are weak and stupid and live in the shadow of men and are nothing compared to them. In the sea because it has always frustrated me, destroying what I have built, washing away what I have left, wiping clean the marks I have made. And I'm not all that sure the wind is blameless either.
Okay.
Well, I wonder why he killed Esmeralda now. Whose recommendation was it to read this shit?
Well, you bought it.
I know.
Welcome back. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Very, very different vibes from Not Quite Dead Yet. Not gonna lie, reading the first 2 chapters of The Wasp Factory made me feel illiterate. Made me feel like I was reading but could not comprehend a single detail. And I'm glad that Macayla also felt the same way, although she was really pulling the strings. She was the one understanding a lot. And I'm very thankful for that because I was not understanding nearly enough. And as you saw, Macayla was actually in this video. I really liked the way we filmed our live finale for Not Quite Dead Yet, so I just decided to film all of our FaceTime meets like that from now on. But that includes week 1 of this book club book. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys will come back next week for week 2. And yeah. This week's shout-outs go to Macayla, obviously. She's my reading buddy, and she really pulled our weight in the discussion. Shout-out to Criminal Minds, because this is the second time we've mentioned it, and I think it's really funny that that's just how we're choosing to explain things to the other person. It's like, oh, you know that episode of Criminal Minds? Why, yes, I do. And lastly, shout-out to Corpse Husband. And with all that said, I will see you guys in the next one. Mwah.
Drinking all this coffee.